Stop. Please stop.
Come to me, Avenger. It is time.
Lila Michaels, Harbinger. I need you.
Who are you?
Universe after universe has fallen before my power. World after world consumed. With every death, I steal my mirror strength, and mine grows ever stronger. Who am I? I am the Anti-Monitor. Come, Harbinger. There is work to be done.
What is good, YouTube? Warstu here, back at it again with another video on Crisis on Infinite Earth Part 2. So let's get into it. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel DC based videos. So episode 2, quickly to recap episode 1. So essentially in episode 1, Oliver Queen had sacrificed himself and was killed. But let's be honest, guys, if you've watched Arrow or watched Flash or watched last year's crossover, you knew Oliver was going to die. So everyone was freaking out about Oliver dying in the first episode, but we knew this was going to happen at some point. But what we didn't know was going to happen was they're going to kill him off, then to bring him back in episode 2, then to kill him off again, or maybe introduce him as a different character, because we've known this already since the season finale of the last season of Arrow, so this isn't nothing new. So let's get into episode 2, which was a fairly decent episode. It was mainly filler to build up to Anti-Monitor finally coming, and then all the heroes finding out that they've actually been working for Anti-Monitor all this time. So let's get into this video. So if this channel ever hits 100,000 subscribers, I will be giving away a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One X or a Switch with any game. All you got to do is subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button so we get there faster. So in no particular order, this episode was really good, although it was Batwoman, Batwoman episode 9. It felt more like a Supergirl episode because the main narrative was based around Supermen. We were introduced to Tom Welling Smallville's variation of Superman, where we find out he wasn't actually Superman because he wasn't weak to kryptonite. Lex Luthor got the Book of Destiny from last year's crossover. You know, everything comes full circle, kind of an Easter egg if you want to use them kind of words. So Lex Luthor went after every variation of Superman, but he didn't really kill any, which is interesting. He killed a few of them, but he didn't really kill any. So he tried to kill Kingdom Come Superman, where he got Tyler Hoechlin's variation of Superman to have a fight with the Kingdom Come Superman. And essentially, Lex Luthor was taken out by Lois Lane when she hit him over the head. And then she was like, "You are Hope, you are Hope, this is not who you are." And then they became friends and kissed and made up. So what was interesting is when we got introduced to Tom Welling's variation, he wasn't actually Superman, he'd given up his powers, but he could still beat Lex Luthor up in a fist fight, which was very interesting. So we knew going to this crossover, he only shot one scene. Now there are people saying that Tom Welling is going to suit up and he's going to be in a different scene, but if he's lost his powers, then how can he become Superman again? I don't really know, but be interesting to see where that story goes. So they resurrect Oliver Queen. As you've seen in the clip before the video started, they resurrected Oliver Queen. They took him to the Lazarus Pit. As you know, it destroys your soul and you can come to life. So all the Lazarus Pits on Earth 1 were destroyed. So they had to go to the multiverse and go to different Earths to find which one they could use. And then we got the Jonah Hex Easter Egg, you know, Earth 18, 18th century. Yep, cool, we get it. So they knocked out Jonah Hex and then they reformed, chucking him in Lazarus Pit, basically, which is interesting. He comes out a different person. So everyone was freaking out on Twitter about Oliver Queen being dead. Come on, guys, seriously, it's Arrowverse. We know he's not going to be dead. We've seen him shooting a scene in the final episode for crossover, for Crisis, so we knew he wasn't going to be dead. So we were introduced to Batman, although we weren't really introduced to Batman. Why? Because of the 2021 Batman movie, Batman was not allowed in the crossover. Although there was a variation in Batman, we did see the Batman suit, we did see the cowl. He didn't get in it. Kevin Conroy did not get into the suit. So we didn't get Batman. So essentially, the Paragons. We were looking for the Paragons in this episode, and it wasn't. The future Batman is actually Batwoman. The future Batman is actually Batwoman. And to be honest, in the first episode, they made her woke. She was so freaking woke. I don't need your help. I don't need your help. Yeah, because Batwoman can actually save the multiverse by herself. No, you need a man's help. So this is interesting. So he is the voice of the Arkham games, and he didn't really do the Batman voice that often, which is kind of annoying because I guess it's to do with their contract, because if you look into it, they were supposed to have lots of other cameo roles and the Easter eggs, but a lot of WB stuff wasn't really allowed because of contracts and other stuff. So it could have been a lot better than it was. And let's talk about that Titans cameo role that never actually happened. It was 2 seconds. There were a lot of people alleging that there was going to be a massive Titans scene and we were going to see Titans towers explode. But no, that was fabricated. So Titans didn't cross over. I mean, a lot of these cameo roles, it's cool fan service and stuff, but it really isn't hitting numbers. Less than 2 million live concurrent views for the first episode. I don't really get why the views are so low. So what is interesting is Jonathan is Superboy, or Super Baby. And of all the people that can calm him down, it is Dominic from Prison Break. You know, Heatwave. It's a person that calms him down, which is very interesting. So we know what is happening now. Lila's character has been working for Anti-Monitor all this time. And in the comics, she basically gets mind-brained washed by him. And in the comics, she ends up taking him down, which is interesting. So will they follow this storyline? Probably not. But I am interested. I'm really interested about this storyline now, because Anti-Monitor doesn't look exactly like he does in the comics. There's no helmet, but they've got work to be done. What is this? And if you read the comics, you essentially know where this whole storyline is going, but you essentially know they won't be killing off Supergirl or the Flash. What is most likely is going to happen, Oliver Queen's going to do some sacrification, and then he will basically take some other character of a higher power, higher level, higher god, maybe. We don't know, but it is interesting. I am actually really interested in this show. So the whole Superman stuff was kind of interesting. If you're a Kingdom Come fan of Superman, Kara Zor-El saying, "Oh my God, Brandon Routh, you're so big," which was hilarious. I thought that was put in there for comedic value. And then Tyler Hoechlin's like, "That's your cousin, technically from another Earth," which was very, very interesting. The lack of Kid Flash. Now it's interesting because in the comics, obviously the Flash disappeared for 20 years and Kid Flash became the Flash. Very interesting that there is no Kid Flash in this crossover thus far, which doesn't make sense. I mean, they should have tried the hardest to get Kid Flash in this crossover. So, episode 3 on tonight, which is the Flash's episode, it's going to be great. We're going to see Anti-Monitor. The story is going to stop being about filler material. We're actually going to get to the main involvement. We're actually going to find out what the Anti-Monitor is trying to do. He's trying to destroy the multiverse, but is he just trying to destroy the multiverse? Or is he doing much more than trying to destroy the multiverse? So, that is the main kind of bulk of what happened. Obviously, there were a lot of filler scenes, you know, the characters feeling sorry for Oliver being dead, but then at the same time, you're like, come on guys, this is a time-traveling show. There's so many ways you can bring Oliver back. You can run back in time. Technically, Supergirl can travel back in time, so they could have went that way about it, but they decided to use the Lazarus Pit, which is kind of an Easter egg to Oliver, basically to Sarah Lance being resurrected, Thea Queen being resurrected, Oliver Queen technically now being resurrected. It is very, very interesting if you ask me. But the only problem with introducing the Lazarus Pit during the crossover means if any other hero dies, they can just, you know, resurrect him with the Lazarus Pit again. So it's a bit of a plot hole in a way, because this is meant to be a crisis that can't be stopped. But Oliver Queen was killed, then brought back. So it's all right then promoting the show saying nothing will be the same when Oliver's dead, and then you bring him back literally less than, I guess you could say, half an hour in the context of this show. So it will be interesting to find out if anyone does actually die in this show. So what is interesting is Allura may come back in a similar way, but perhaps even Oliver Queen may come back if he dies again and again and again and again and again. So it is going to be very interesting to see what happens, because they're not exactly going to kill off Supergirl's Earth forever, are they? No, because then there's no Supergirl show. We can't be that, CW can't be that thankful for us. They can't like take away the show that no one wants, can they? No. So it is interesting to see what's going to happen with the actual Crisis. Now, the fact that Anti-Monitor is finally here, now the Paragons, now the heroes are all there. But to be honest, guys, the heroes were always there. They were just looking for Kingdom Come Superman. All the other heroes were already there. They kind of set this up last year when the Monitor tested them. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out, to see if CW have spoken to Warner Bros. To see if they can have a dramatic ending like it had in the Crisis on Infinite Earths comic books. Now, I'm not expecting it to play out that way, but it would be interesting. I know this is kind of a low-budget variation of what's gonna happen in the future, because essentially the fact they've done the Monitor storyline and Anti-Monitor storyline so early, it means the only way they can possibly outdo this is by, I don't know, Darkseid, some of the New God, next year's crossover, which is gonna be very interesting. So let me know down below, guys. Are you watching this? Do you even care? How do you think Anti-Monitor is going to destroy the whole world? But you know they're not, because they're currently filming the rest of the season of Flash and the rest of the season of Supergirl. So we already know that the heroes are going to win. But how are they going to win? That is what is going to separate this from being just a generic crossover to being a great crossover. There must be mass casualties after this crossover. But what I think is going to happen is they're just going to kill off the characters from the other Earth and not the characters from the main Earth one. So like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. I'll catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.